Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Catherine and this is Raspberry Reads. I have been sick for so long now that I've lost the will to live almost. And I know that sounds really drastic, but you know when you get so fed up with being sick that you just want to feel alive again. And so I've been sick I had the flu in January, and then I had bronchitis in early February, and then I went right into a sinus cold thing. And today is the first day that I'm feeling a little bit more like myself. I'm still not 100% and I still have a croaky voice, but I'm feeling more inspired to film than I have done in a really long time. So I wanted to do just a little short catch-up video just to ease myself back in and to let you all know, my lovely listeners rather, that I'm still here. I'm still reading. I just haven't been as active on BookTube recently because I've been so poorly. So without any more waffling on, I wanted to update you with what I'm currently reading. I'm filming this at the end of February now, just to give you a sense of my timeline. So the first book that I just started today is The Four Winds by Kristin Hannah. And I have mentioned Kristin Hannah a number of times on my channel, saying that I've never read anything by her, but she's been on my TBR for ages. I know The Nightingale is a book that I'd like to get to, as is her newer one on the women set in Vietnam. But this one, The Four Winds, my brother gave me this copy 2 years ago now, I think, for Christmas. And The Four Winds is set in the US in the 1920s during the Great Depression and like the Dust Bowl in the Great Plains. 1930s, I should say. And so far, I haven't quite connected to the character Elsa, but I'm only 10 pages in, so I'm going to give it a bit more time. But yeah, so far haven't quite connected to Kristin Hannah's writing style, haven't quite connected to the story yet, but it's really early days. But what I would like to know is if any of you have read anything by Kristin Hannah, which one is your favorite book, and what did you think of The Four Winds without giving any spoilers? The next book is a book that I'm currently reading on as an ebook on Libby, and this book is our next book club pick, and it's the first book club pick of 2026. We had a little bit of delay due to lots of colleagues being unwell. And this is Trespasses by Louise Kennedy. I had not heard of Trespasses before, but this is actually currently a series on one of the channels here in the UK. And I think it's been fairly well received. But Trespasses is set in Northern Ireland. It's set in the 1980s during the Troubles, and it follows Kushla, and she is a Catholic woman, and she falls for a man named Michael, who is much older and married, and their sort of illicit love affair, and how I think it's meant to be quite heartbreaking and how it never quite works out for them. But I've really connected to the characters so far. I've never read anything set in Northern Ireland or Belfast in particular. Haven't really read anything to do with the Troubles. I took Irish history in my senior year of my undergraduate degree, but beyond that, I haven't really connected that much with literature in Ireland or Northern Ireland, and not anything to do with the Troubles really. So this book is really fascinating for me just as a sort of piece of historical fiction. I don't think our book club has ever read anything that I would classify as like a romance. So it's going to be interesting discussing this one, but I'm really enjoying it so far. I think I'm about 40% of my way through. The next book that I'm currently listening to is The Sultan's Wife by Jane Johnson. This was just an impulse pick. I saw it on Libby. It was available, historical fiction, and I thought, why not? And the reason why I decided to pick this one up is because I was listening to 3 Things About Elsie by Joanna Cannon. I think that's her surname. And I really enjoyed Joanna Cannon's The Trouble with Goats and Sheep. I thought it was a fantastic book. So when I saw Three Things About Elsie, which came out in 2018, I think, I was really excited to give it a go. And it has very much like Richard Osmond murder club vibes, in the sense that it's set in a retirement home and it follows the characters are all elderly characters. But I just couldn't get into it. And so that book, Three Things About Elsie, was my first DNF of 2026. And consequently, I ended up wanting a new audiobook to listen to, because I listen to audiobooks in the evening when I'm falling asleep. So therefore, I picked up The Sultan's Wife. So The Sultan's Wife is set in Morocco in the 1670s. It follows two characters so far. The first is, his name is Nusnus, and he is a slave to King Ishmael. And then we have Alice Swan, who is an English woman, I believe, who's captured and becomes an enslaved concubine, part of the harem for King Ishmael. And so it does have some quite sensitive subject matter, but I am enjoying the writing style. I'm enjoying how it's being narrated, and I so far really like how the characters of Nusnus and Alice are developing. And from what I understand, they then form a close connected relationship, friendship, what have you, to kind of navigate their time together under the king's roof. So that's all I know about it so far, but I am 30% through, 40% through maybe. So a lot's actually happened already, but we haven't quite got to the main part of where we're exploring their relationship. So I'll let you know my final thoughts when I do that, when I finish that book in a wrap-up video. Another book that I paused and haven't technically been reading, but I will be going back to shortly, is The Foundling by Stacey Halls. This is set in the 1750s, I think, in London. And it's looking at the idea of foundling hospitals where unwed mothers or mothers who couldn't look after their babies for whatever reason gave up their children to these foundling hospitals, workhouses when they're older. And so, yeah, the book is based on the woman named Beth, who has to give up her child, and then she wants to go and get her child Clara back. And I haven't made it to the part, but from the synopsis, what I can gather is that Beth goes back to claim Clara, but Clara's not there anymore, and so there's the rest of the story unfolds from there. So yeah, I'm not very far through that book. I think I'm about 10% through. So I will be returning to The Foundling in March. And the fifth book that I was reading, I was really enjoying, but it's so popular that I had to return it. And now I need to wait a really long time to get it back again, is Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte McConaughey. And this is set near the Antarctic, an island near the Antarctic, and it's a man and his children, and so this family is there on this sort of research island looking after a seed bank, and then this mysterious woman washes ashore who's quite badly injured, and they nurse her back to health, and then a mystery sort of unfolds from there. This book I am enjoying. I think I'm about 30% through, but the writing is very dense. I really liked Migrations by Charlotte McConaughey, and I didn't find her writing particularly dense from what I can remember when I read that book. But this book, I'm reading it as an ebook. The font size is small. It's written, I don't know, this is going to sound really picky, but it is in I think like Times New Roman or a serif font. And I don't tend to read lots of books set with serif fonts, and so it's very like cramped text. And it's taking me just a little bit longer to read than I normally would, because it is just a dense book. And like the actual format of the page is quite dense. So yeah, those are my like stylistic comments so far on Wild Dark Shore. But as a concept of a book, and in general, McConaughey's writing, I do enjoy it. And who knows, maybe I'll get it back at some point. If not, I might end up just seeing if I can buy a secondhand copy, like physical copy, because I don't really want to have to wait the 20 odd weeks to get it back on Libby again, but we'll see. So yeah, those are the 5 books that I have either just been reading and have had to pause on, or have picked up and just started, that will carry me through into March. And I'm enjoying them all. I really like them. In terms of what I'm reading with my daughter, we're reading The Secret World of Og by Pierre Berton. Very much enjoying that. And then I think we'll be looking at some Enid Blyton books, probably like The Secret 7, I think, is the next one. So yeah, those are all the things I wanted to update you guys on. I'm going to keep this short and sweet, and I'll be back again soon. I think my next video is going to be my February wrap-up. And at some point I'd like to do a haul video for you, because I've received some lovely books recently, but we'll get to those when I'm feeling a little bit more energized. So all that to say is I hope you're all doing really well. I hope you're enjoying whatever you're reading, and I'll see you soon in a new video. Take care. Bye.